I felt it then. Not heat, not force, emotion, loneliness, fear, hope, and a question pressed gently into my mind. Will you leave me too? I didn't answer with words. I broke free. I ran through collapsing corridors, ignoring the pain, the blood, the certainty that I would never see Earth again. I reached the med bay as security tried to override the locks. Stand down. I shouted. It's not a weapon. The child looked at me and chose me. In a flash of impossible light, we were gone. The ardent dawn survived. Barely. Command spun the report as an equipment malfunction, classified the incident, buried it under layers of denial. They never found us. We emerged on the ice, miles from the Nivian city. The child, no, the being, stood taller now, its form stabilizing into something both alien and achingly familiar. It showed me the truth. The Nivians had once been like us, chaotic, emotional, growing. Then they found harmony and froze themselves into it. Literally and philosophically, the child represented change, entropy, the risk of becoming more than perfect. They were terrified. The being could have forced evolution upon them. Instead, it asked me what humans would do. I laughed, cried, told it the truth. We argue. We fail. We hurt each other. But we don't give up on our kids. So we walked back together. The Nivians tried to stop us. Harmonic barriers rose from the ice. Singing weapons tuned to shatter matter. The being stepped forward, and for the first time it spoke aloud, not in sound, but in resonance. It didn't attack. It harmonized. The city changed. Crystalline towers shifted, colors deepening, refracting new spectrums. Individuality rippled through the collective. Voices broke from unison. Fear gave way to wonder. The elders fell silent. They had feared extinction. What they received was rebirth. Years later, I sit beneath a sky that no longer feels so cold. The Nivians are explorers now, artists, parents. The being who chose the name Asha walks among them, a bridge between what they were and what they could become. Humanity paid a price. Sanctions, political fractures. I was never allowed to return home. But sometimes late at night, when the ice sings softly and the stars feel close enough to touch, Asha sits beside me and asks about Earth. And I realize something important. They abandoned the alien child to the ice because they thought compassion was weakness. Humanity refused to walk away because it's the one thing that keeps us warm in a cold universe. The child was still breathing when they left it to freeze. I saw the frost crawling up its translucent skin, crystal veins locking in place like shattered glass, while the delegation ships burned their engines and fled the horizon. No final scan. No mercy. Just protocol satisfied and conscience buried beneath the ice. And that was the moment everything went wrong. I'm Dr. Elias Rourke, xenobiologist, 2nd Expeditionary Contact Corps. I've dissected creatures that thought in colors and screamed in radio waves. I've watched stars collapse from orbit, but nothing has ever haunted me like the way that alien child looked up at the sky, waiting for someone who never came. But that was only the beginning. The world we called Nivius, 9 was never meant to host life. A rogue planet, locked in eternal winter, orbiting a dead star. Temperatures dropped low enough to snap steel. Winds could flay exposed skin in seconds. The only reason we were there was because the scanners had detected a subglacial civilization, an ancient one, hibernating beneath kilometers of ice. First contact went badly. The Nivians, tall, crystalline beings whose bodies refracted light, like living prisms, operated on logic, so cold it made our AI uncomfortable. To them, survival was arithmetic. If a variable threatened the whole, you removed it. The child was that variable. It was born different, warmer, radiating unstable bioenergy, a mutation that, according to their elders, would one day fracture their harmonic society. So they did what made sense to them. They abandoned it. We argued. God, we argued. Threatened sanctions. Offered relocation. Medical intervention. Anything. But the Nivian Council had already voted. Their law was ancient and absolute. One life, they said, voices chiming in perfect unison, cannot outweigh the many. Then they turned to us. It is now your problem. What I saw next changed everything. The child didn't cry like a human. It pulsed. Waves of heat rippled through the air, warping the snow beneath it into steaming glass. Its eyes, if you could call them that, were deep blue voids, reflecting my own face back at me, distorted and afraid. Command ordered a retreat. Risk assessment flagged the child as a class Omega unknown. Energy readings spiked unpredictably. We were told to leave it, document the outcome, observe from orbit, protocol over compassion. I stayed behind. I told myself it was scientific curiosity, that I needed better data. But the truth was uglier and simpler. I couldn't walk away. As the others lifted off, the wind howled louder, like the planet itself was screaming at me to choose. My suit alarms blared. Frostbite warnings. Oxygen ticking down. I knelt in the snow and wrapped my thermal cloak around the child. It looked at me, and for the first time, it reacted. The pulsing slowed. Its temperature stabilized. And somewhere deep beneath the ice, something ancient stirred. But none of us were prepared for the truth. Back aboard the Ardent Dawn, I had the child in a sealed med bay and falsified logs. Command was already busy drafting diplomatic fallout reports. They didn't notice one missing variable. At first, the child slept. When it dreamed, the lights flickered. Gravity wavered. Crew members reported hearing music, low, resonant tones vibrating through bone and metal. I should have been terrified. Instead, I sat by its side. I spoke to it, told it about Earth, about oceans that weren't frozen solid, about sunsets, about how humans were terrible at logic but stubborn about hope. It listened. Days passed. The child grew, not physically but dimensionally. Its presence felt larger, as if it occupied more space than its body allowed. Then the Nivians contacted us again. They were afraid. Our harmonic fields are destabilizing, they said. The exile remains alive. This was unforeseen. They demanded we return the child. Immediately, command was relieved. A problem solved. Cargo delivered. But something in the way the Nivians spoke felt wrong. Their perfect unity fractured by subtle dissonance. Fear. I reviewed the data again. Deep scans. Energy models. And then I saw it. The child wasn't a mutation. It was a catalyst. A new evolutionary state. A being capable of rewriting the harmonic structure that bound Nivian society together. Not destroying it. Changing it. The elders hadn't abandoned the child to save their people. They had abandoned it to stop themselves from becoming something more. That was the moment the story turned. I confronted command, told them the truth, told them the child was sapient, growing, dangerous only to stagnation, that returning would be a death sentence, not for the child, but for an entire future. They listened, then they relieved me of duty. Security escorted me out, sealed the med bay, prepped the ship for descent. As the engines ignited, the child woke up. Every alarm screamed at once. Gravity inverted. Bulkheads groaned. The stars outside bent like reflections in broken glass. Crew members dropped to the ceiling, screaming as the laws of physics filed a complaint. The child floated. Not lifted. Floated. It reached out, no hands, just light, and touched the hull.